When those Saints
go
marching in,
You know,
when the
I will give you this. You got me on Tom Brady, but how about them Cowboys?
you beat Kirk Cousins.
6 straight, baby. Are you smelling? I'm smelling Super Bowl.
No.
You smell it? You smell it?
You beat Kirk Cousins.
I'm smelling Super Bowl.
What did you call
You
him
love
Friday?
him. You
What
say
did you call
First
him Friday?
Cousins.
What did you call him Friday? You called Kurt.
Kurt. He was Kurt last
Yeah,
night.
exactly.
Thank you. And I'm going to be Kurt about Kurt.
This
Yeah.
is so sad. This is so sad.
It is sad.
I had a Vikings outfit planned out for the day, and you know
That's
where it
too
is?
bad.
It's sitting in my closet because, yeah, Skip is the one gloating. All right, we will get to Tom Brady's shocking loss in just a few minutes. I know Shannon has a lot to say there, but yes, we have to start with Skip's Cowboys that pulled off the win, and it was a wild win without Dak Prescott last night, who missed the game with his sore calf. Backup Cooper Rush got his first NFL start and delivered with 325 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, including the game winner to Amari Cooper with 55 seconds left on the clock as Dallas topped Minnesota 20-16. Shannon, what did the Cowboys show you last night without Dak Prescott getting it done?
Well, this was a total team win, Skip. The offense is a fine oil machine. I think Amari Cooper stepped up last night and showed you I'm still the big dog. I'm still the chief operating officer here. Let's not get that confused. I know the young gun is coming, but I'm still Amari Cooper. I'm still the #1 receiver. Skip, if you look at it, this game, you could just sum this game up. It's 3rd and 11. They check the ball down. They say, you know what, we get field goal, we play for overtime. And what does Zeke do? Run through 2 tackles, get the first down, move the chain 50 yards, 50 seconds on the clock, they throw the touchdown to Amari Cooper. You kind of got a sense, Skip, on that last drive, the guy has an opportunity for an interception. The ball hits him in his chest. Amari Cooper somehow catches it and runs down the field. So that was foreshadowing of a sign to come. But Skip, I would be very remiss. This game was one on the defensive side of the football. They held them, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to make sure this stat is correct, Skip. 1 for 13.
That is correct.
On 3rd down.
1 of 13.
That's 7%. Even when Cooper Rush turned the football over, Skip, the defense says, nah, I think we're going to sack you guys, going to push you back out of field goal range.
Yep.
And that was the difference in the ball game. And Cooper Rush played well enough, Skip. He made enough throws. Now, I thought CeeDee Lamb had him doomed on that one, Skip, because CeeDee wanted to run before he even had the football, and he just kept running to the sideline.
It looked like a big mistake.
It looked like a big mistake. But, Skip, give Cooper Rush credit. 20 of 40, 325, the long touchdown to Cedric Wilson. Skip, this team reminds me, and I was watching them last night, and I was saying to myself, man, this team reminds me of '98 because John Elway tweaked his hamstring in the 2nd game of the season.
Yep.
We had to play like 4 or 5 games with Bubby Brister and Skip. We didn't miss a beat. We just knew offensively what we had from TD to myself, Ed, Rod. Offensive line was sensational, and we didn't miss a beat. Held the fort down.
Where had Bubby been before he came to you?
Bubby was at the Jets. He was at the Jets.
Wasn't he at Pittsburgh?
He started at Pittsburgh.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But he started games for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush had thrown 3 passes in his life in 2017 and completed 1 for 2 yards.
But when you're so talented around him, you don't ask him to do a whole lot. You hit Cedric Wilson, Skip, you catch him in cover 5, 2-man, you split the seam, and Cedric Wilson does the rest. And so that's what he had to do. And it just goes to show you, Skip. I'm watching Dak warm up last night. I'm like, Dak look good to me. That was an indictment on First Cousins. They said, we feel so comfortable starting a guy that hadn't thrown. How many passes you say he thrown? 1.
I mean, he completed 3, completed 1 pass.
Okay.
That was in 2017.
So that just tells you what they thought about Kirk Cousins. That's what they tell you. But, Skip, this team looked good. We're going to talk about them a little later. But Dallas Cowboys, I'm getting to the point I think I might want to go ahead. Can I buy my bet for like 2 cases?
Seriously?
Yeah, I think I want to buy it.
Well, it's like a 10-case bet. Why would I do it for 2?
3.
I'll do 5 right now. Do you want 5? I'll do 5 to get you out of the NFC least bet that you made. You got the field.
Let me see what happens.
All right, we'll see what happens the rest of the show.
Yeah, because the Eagles looked good yesterday.
We will revisit this. What did I tell you from the start? The Eagles were the biggest threat to my Cowboys, and who had the best QBR of the week this week? Jalen Hurts. I told you. You didn't listen to me.
They did play the Lions.
Okay, they did play the Lions. What's left of the Lions. My turn.
Okay.
I will be the first to admit I was wrong about my Cowboys last night because I told you on Friday, I actually told you all week long that if Dak can't go, which I kept telling you, I don't think he's going to play. All the tea leaves read to me, not going to play. But I told you if Cooper Rush starts this game, they will lose this game to Kirk Cousins at Minnesota.
Right.
And yet, I have been right about my team from day one of this season. I have told you this team is different. This team has a swagger I haven't seen since the 90s. This team has a meant-to-be-ness about it that I haven't felt since the 90s when I covered the dynastic Dallas Cowboys of Jimmy Johnson and then Barry Switzer. This team is special, different from all the teams that we've talked about here on Undisputed since 2016. This team actually believes it's going to win every game no matter what. You can just see it in their body language. We're going to do this. We're going to figure this out. Somehow, some way, we'll get the bounce, we'll get the break, or we will make the bounce or make the break to win the football game. That's how you get to a Super Bowl for the first time since the 1995 season, which I covered and wrote a book about called Hell Bent. And last night was the classic example of they had every chance to fold the way every Cowboy team that seems like for years we talked about.
Well, your defense was trying to help them fold.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is they had every opportunity to do Cowboy things.
And they were doing it.
They were doing Cowboy things, but they wouldn't let Minnesota take advantage. Right. So my point is, let's start with Ezekiel Elliott. Look, my team was second in the league in rushing going into this game. And then what happened? Not a lot happened, right?
Right.
They ran for 78 yards against the Minnesota defense.
Skip, you heard Zim say it. If Dak doesn't play, I'm going to force their quarterback to beat me. Well, he did.
Who wouldn't?
Exactly,
Who wouldn't? So Zeke goes 16 carries for 50 yards, which is barely over 3 a carry, which will not win the football game. And I tweeted late in the game, it was starting to feel like the bad old days with Zeke again when you waste downs handing him the ball because he's going nowhere slowly. He started to tiptoe again toward the holes. He wasn't hitting them with the rage he was the 3, 4, 5 games ago.
The opening wasn't there, Skip. If you look at Harrison Smith, Skip, they were playing 8-9-man box. That's why you had 2 receivers go over 100 yards.
Okay, and he hadn't done anything catching the ball either. He had, what was it? They ran for 78. But the point was he had done nothing until the play in question, which became the play of the game. And this is how you win football games when you shouldn't win the football game. If we could see that, I'm going all the way to the end of the game. This is 3rd and 11 from the 20 you talked about with 1:04 left. And I thought, okay, let's just take the field goal here. And what happened? This happened. Just a little flip to Zeke, and I'm thinking, oh, well, that's going nowhere. And he runs through 4 Vikings and gets it down to the 5-yard line. Well, there was Zeke running with the old T.O. type rage, right? That was, I will not be denied. And all of a sudden, I'm saying, you're kidding me. We have it 1st and goal at the 5. Then I thought, are we just going to hand it to Zeke and try to bleed the clock out? No. What does Cooper Rush do? Cooper Rush comes out.
Called the fade to Amari.
Yeah, and he audibles to the fade. He said, I'm not going to hand the ball to Zeke when I see Amari one-on-one with the corner. And it was their backup corner, Dantzler, who had been elevated in the starting lineup, and they didn't have much respect for him. And he said, I'm going to throw it to Amari. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I was shocked Amari was in the football game because he had just made 2 huge plays, but then we saw him on the sideline with a Theragun. You know what a Theragun is? And he's working on his hamstring. Then he takes a tennis ball and he's rolling his hamstring. What usually happens on the road to Amari Cooper when he's on the sideline with a hamstring issue? He's gone for the rest of the road game, right? He's notorious for it.
Let me ask you a question. When they audible, what were you thinking? You remember Thursday night? They audible to the fade, and one guy didn't get it.
Which game?
Arizona.
Arizona.
That's the
that
play.
game. That was the play. To A.J. Green.
One was to the left, the other was to the right.
You know what? That's true.
The play.
Okay, that was a fade stop because it was a back shoulder throw. This is your classic over-the-top fade.
But, Skip, here's the thing. A.J. Green missed the check.
He did. He missed the check.
Amari got the check. So, they called a fade. But if Amari had missed the check, it still would have been a moot point.
Right.
The ball would have been out of bounds.
And all of a sudden, we had Cooper to Cooper.
Cooper to Coop.
Cooper Rush to Amari Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, wait a second. Did Cooper Rush just throw that ball? Because that was about as sweet as you can throw the fade, right?
It was great timing.
Okay.
It was great timing.
All right, so now let's go back to the top. Cooper Rush didn't play great last night.
No. He played well. He made some timely throws.
He played as well as you could expect Cooper Rush to play with three attempts. He had a QBR of 45 on a scale 0 to 100, so it's a little below average, and that's about what I would give him, a little below average. And he was very shaky in the first half, and at halftime, I thought there was no way that Cooper Rush could win this game. I think Will Grier, their third-string quarterback, is better than Cooper Rush. But they have loved Cooper Rush from the start, although they did cut him.
Right.
And Jason Garrett loved him so much he brought him to New York, but then he cut him and he came back to Dallas.
Right.
But he's grown up in the system. He goes every day running the scout team against this defense, which is getting better and better. And he made enough plays